clearer.
The only public comment
And it all
coming
starts
from
with getting your Fidelity
Rice
retirement
so far
score.
is an aid
In 60
speaking
seconds,
to
you'll
us
know
here
where
at
you
CNN,
stand.
calling
And
the
together, we'll help you make decisions for your plan to keep you on track. It's your retirement. Know where you stand.
The surveillance of people close to President Trump, possibly the president himself, now has a name, and it's one you've seen in major scandals before.
This is stunning news.
This is not a minor flunky. This is Obama's right-hand woman.
I think the real scandal here is that how long has this kind of thing been going on? We need those tools to protect ourselves. And when people abuse them like this, then there's a tendency to outlaw their use, and that puts us at risk.
I have decided that I will not support Judge Gorsuch's nomination.
I cannot support this nomination.
I will not. I cannot.
Let me assure you that Judge Gorsuch is going to be on the Supreme Court by midnight Friday night.
Matthews off the mark, and this year the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time. Sing it, we will rock you.
Well, first, if you're getting dressed today and you're in the Northeast, wear something water repellent because it is a soggy day as you look. Up 6th Avenue toward Central Park. Welcome aboard. Congratulations, by the way, to North Carolina. Big game last night. Sorry, Gonzaga, you were fantastic.
And to the women's team at South Carolina, they did well too.
Oh, over on Sunday after that monster upset by UConn, with the Mississippi State pulled that off, which was unbelievable. Meanwhile, we're trying to follow this story ever since a month ago when the president said enough about Russia. He tweeted out that he had information that possibly the Obama people were spying on him. People wonder where this is coming. coming from. Little by little, we're getting a clearer picture on what's going on. And according to Eli Lake, White House lawyers last month learned that the former National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, requested the identities of U.S. persons in raw intelligence reports on dozens of occasions. So, you know, you're allowed to see person one and person two as they talk to the Bulgarian ambassador or the Finland ambassador, any foreign entity. Well, she, as National Security Advisor, was allowed to ask for the identities of the other person. And she did it dozens of times as it relates to Trump officials.
Yeah, including the guy her successor, who was General Michael Flynn, who was head of the NSA for a brief second under President Trump. She unmasked his name. It cost him his job.
Well, what she did by unmasking was legal, and she was authorized as National Security Advisor. But then what they did was they changed the rules regarding unmasking. And the NSA, where they could then distribute all this information and, you know, through an executive order. How many people were unmasked? We don't know at this point, but we do know it went out to 16 or 17 different intel agencies where it would be easier to leak. And somebody leaked it, and then it wound up in the papers with the transcript verbatims, essentially, and that that's why Flynn lost his job, and that's why we got where we are today. Because the first question was, who unmasked? Now we know. And in fact, Senator Rand Paul yesterday tweeted out this: smoking gun found. Obama pal and noted dissembler Susan Rice said to have been spying on Trump campaign. Now that's interesting because she was just on PBS within the last couple of weeks, and she pretended or said she didn't know anything.
I know nothing about this. I was surprised to see reports from Chairman Eunice on that count today. I really don't know to what Chairman Nunes was referring, but he said that whatever he was referring to was a legal, lawful surveillance, and that it was potentially incidental collection.
I don't know what he's referring to. It may be exactly what you did and requested dozens of times. I don't know what you have to tell PBS, but the truth might have helped. But maybe how about this? Trey Gowdy, when he was questioning James Comey, gave us a clue that he knew something was going on. Remember this question. He asked James Comey at a House Intel hearing when he came down that Monday if Obama officials, including Susan Rice, could have access to unmasked names that were leaked to the Washington Post and New York Times. Now, unmasking in her position, not a crime. Leaking is a crime.
Well, yeah, and James Comey said, yeah, she had access to it. She could have been the one who unmasked.
Sure.
Well, she's also the lady in that soundbite. She's saying she doesn't remember, it didn't happen.
No,
She's also the lady who went on TV on those 5 Sunday shows after Benghazi and said it happened. There it is. That it happened because of that videotape that was released. We found out later that that was not true at all. So how can we trust her?
Think that. Well, we had Dr. James Mitchell on. He essentially wrote the book on interrogation. He's good at listening to people. He was analyzing what she said in that soundbite, and here's his analysis. If you actually parse every single word she said in that interview that you played that I heard just before I came on the air, probably every single sentence she said, particularly given the pronoun references that she's using, is probably true. But she's put it together in such a way that it's misleading, and it leads people to believe, because of how she said it, that she didn't know anything about it.
She should come out and explain herself. Not that we would really believe it. It'd be nice to hear from her.
Well, Rand Paul says it would be nice to hear from you. You know, we're probably going to hear from James Clapper and former CIA Director Brennan. Why shouldn't we hear from Susan Rice, who says she will not show up?
That's right. Call her up in front of some of the committees, put her under oath, ask her whether or not she was asked by Barack Obama to do that. Did she leak it to the Washington Post? These are good questions that we need good answers to.
Marie Harf is full-time here now. She used to be in the State Department with President Obama. She was asked with Martha McCallum last night on First 100 Days about this incident. She says there's no problem with this.
It is not at all unusual for the National Security Advisor to request additional information, and by that I mean here unmasking of an intelligence report. So that does not mean she leaked it, and no one has reported that, so we should not equate unmasking with leaking. And we have seen no evidence in Eli Lake's report or others that there were partisan political motives behind this.
But there is no obvious need for the unmasking of these names other than political curiosity.
100%. Why are the Democrats surveilling the opposing party's candidate? Why are they surveilling?
Well, I'll give that argument. The argument is we're concerned that the next administration coming in is too close with Russia.
But are they allowed to do that? Are you just allowed to surveil the next running
They're talking
next
to a
person
foreign
running for
entity
president?
or...
Well,
Yeah.
under the FISA stuff, you can, but the name of the American citizen that they talk to is supposed to be covered. Unless you are a member of the Trump team, and it looks like they uncovered a bunch of those. Keep in mind, though, you mentioned Russia. All of the information so far is that this stuff did not involve Russia, and it didn't involve a crime, so why did they unmask it? Eli Lake, who broke the name yesterday, he's a reporter for Bloomberg View, he said, the real scandal is this. The real scandal here is that the bar is so low. You just have to show that there's a foreign intelligence value. It could mean almost anything. That I think the real scandal here is that how long has this kind of thing been going on, and how long has a senior White House official been able to do this? I think it's really a story about how easy it is to learn the identities of Americans who were incidentally collected, and now we know from how this and whether that can be abused by one party for some sort of political advantage, those are things that we